Good morning, everyone. Give you all a minute to get into the room. Welcome. So good morning and thank you. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate the FTC's National Consumer Protection Week. I want to thank all of the organizations that are participating with us today. I'm Claire Rosenzweig, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau serving Metro New York, and I'll be announcing BBB's top consumer complaint and scam categories from 2024, and I'll share some trends regarding scams in just a minute. We do have a webpage dedicated to this event, which is full of information and resources about today's topics, and we're dropping a link into the chat box right now for you. Yesterday, the BBB Institute for Marketplace Trust issued its annual risk report based on all scam tracker data collected in 2024, and it's based on thousands of consumer reports to BBB Scam Tracker. And these reports help consumers identify and avoid scams because recognizing the red flags can be a consumer's best defense. And we're putting links to the new risk report and the scam tracker into the chat box for you. BBB reports on over 5 million businesses throughout the United States and Canada, including about 160,000 right here in Metro New York. And these reports give us a valuable snapshot of consumer interactions with businesses in a wide range of industries. So here goes. Here's our top 10 complaint categories for 2024 in Metro New York. First, online retailers. This category rose dramatically to #1 with almost 14,000 complaints here. That's more than twice as many as in 2023 when this category ranked third. Second is financial services and insurance, which came in at #2 with almost 13,000 complaints, which is generally consistent with last year. And health, beauty, and fitness ranked #3 with over 7,100 complaints, again, similar to 2023. For full descriptions of each of these categories, as well as the other 10, the balance of the 10, go to the website and get all the information there. And again, that link was dropped into the chat. Now about scams. Scammers, as we know, are always adapting to current events and technology, so hoping to trap you. Looking at our most reported scam categories, #1, online purchases. And while it topped our list once again with almost 1,200 reported scams, the dollar losses to such scams were lower in 2024 at about 630,000 versus over 2.2 million in 2023. Second, employment scams. We noted over 750 scam reports and a total of over 1.6 million in losses. And #3, phishing scams. We noted over 375 scam reports and a total of over $125,000 in losses. Where did we see the highest dollar losses? Investment scams, with over 2.8 million reported, and it settled in the 9th spot. Regarding scam trends, let's look at business imposters. In the past year, we've seen this pattern emerging. These scammers use similar tactics and often pretend to have New York addresses. Some of these fake businesses don't exist anywhere. Some use names similar or identical to those of established companies. And in one case, scammers actually bought a real business and used it to commit fraud. And to remember, these scammers can pretend to be any type of business. Another scam deals with fake sellers of medical equipment. Our BBB saw a rise in complaints and scam tracker reports about this. Those who filed reports with us said that their Medicare or private insurance companies were billed for products and supplements they never ordered. These were sent in by phony companies posing as legitimate Medicare suppliers. Imposters have also faked multiple online florist shops, some which appear to be connected. We've received scam reports and complaints from thousands of consumers who needed flowers in a hurry, found a professional-looking website offering low prices only to be disappointed. These consumers told us that moments after they placed an order, it was canceled. And in many cases, they could never get their refunds back. So visit Metro New York BBB's National Consumer Protection Week webpage to see the complete top 10 lists, as well as resources and more. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Jonathan Platt, Regional Director, Northeast Regional Office with the FTC.
Thank you, Claire, and thank you to the Better Business Bureau of Metro New York for hosting this important event. Again, I'm John Platt, the Director of the FTC's Northeast Regional Office here in New York City. For the last several years, the number one type of fraud reported to the FTC has been what we call imposter scams. These are scams where the fraudster pretends to be someone else in order to take your money and your sensitive information. In 2023, imposter scams are responsible for almost $2.7 billion in losses reported by consumers. Today, I want to talk about some of the hallmarks of imposter scams and what the FTC is doing to protect consumers. Imposters may contact you by phone, text, or email. They often pretend to be from a government agency or from a business that lots of people use. Sometimes teams of scammers work together and pretend to be from multiple organizations. For example, a fake employee of a popular business might transfer you to a fake banker or even a fake FTC employee. Scammers often try to make you panic and they try to rush you. They might say that you need to act immediately to prevent a disaster or avoid missing out on an opportunity. Scammers use pressure so you don't have time to think. This is a sign of a scam. Scammers will often give you a story to tell to bank tellers, investment brokers, or even law enforcement. The minute someone tells you to lie to someone else, stop. That's a scam. Scammers want to prevent you from talking to people who might be able to help you. Some scammers tell people they will get in trouble with the government or even be arrested unless they turn over money or share their personal information. Any threat like that is a lie. Nobody who contacts you out of the blue needs your money or information to keep you out of jail or stop you from getting in trouble with the government. Other scammers tell people to move your money to protect it. If anyone tells you to quickly transfer or withdraw your money from your bank or investment accounts, it's probably a scam. Scammers may also pressure you to buy gift cards, buy gold bars, deposit your money into a cryptocurrency ATM, or hand cash to a stranger. These are all signs of a scam. The FTC is committed to stopping imposter scams and recovering victims' money. Last year, the FTC enacted the impersonation rule to make it easier for the FTC to pursue imposter scammers in court and get money back to victims. Already, the FTC has used this new authority to stop a student loan relief scam that pretended to be affiliated with the Department of Education. To help us stop these scams, if you think you've been subjected to an imposter scam, please report it to the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov. You can also visit the FTC's website at consumer.ftc.gov for information about these and other scams. With that, let me introduce our next speaker, Katie Sherwin, the Acting Director of the Division of Consumer Protection of the New York Department of State. Katie?
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Katie Sherwin, Acting Director of the New York Department of State Division of Consumer Protection. Today, in recognition of National Consumer Protection Week, the division is highlighting the scam tactic of impersonating government documents. So imposter scams involving government impersonation go beyond scammers pretending to be from the IRS, Social Security, or law enforcement. Scammers are now presenting fake documents made to look like official government documents in an attempt to appear legitimate or create trust. So you might wonder what scams in this area look like. Well, scammers create fake government documents that appear legitimate in an effort to create a sense of trust. They may produce official-looking documents that present false or non-existent qualifications, experience, or licensure. They may copy logos, seals, or images of signatures from official government websites and use them to create fake letterhead, fake documents, or fake websites. So the New York Department of State Division of Consumer Protection has seen many examples of this tactic. Some include fake articles of incorporation to make a business appear authentic, fake certificates of good standing purportedly issued by the Secretary of State or the Division of Consumer Protection to create trust, and fake real estate licenses purportedly issued by the Department of State. So it's important that New Yorkers understand the difference between a real government document versus a fake one. Sham documents not only pose a risk to the wallets of New Yorkers, but they also threaten their safety. That's why the Division of Consumer Protection encourages New Yorkers to avoid these scams by verifying the authenticity of any document. Anytime you're engaging in a transaction and are presented with a copy of documentation that's supposedly issued by a government entity, contact that government entity directly to verify the document's authenticity. Check the information on the document and confirm the details against any external databases or records. If you're looking for a business, The New York Department of State maintains a searchable database of corporations, LLCs, and other business entities that are registered in New York. If you're working with a realtor, confirm that the real estate professional you're working with is licensed in New York State by visiting the New York Department of State Public License Search database. Conduct an independent online search and check the phone number associated with that real estate license address and call that number directly to verify. With those documents, check for physical signs of tampering, like holograms, microtext, or watermarks, and the overall consistency that distinguishes fake from original documents. And check with the Division of Consumer Protection and your local Better Business Bureau to ensure that no complaints have been reported. So I hope you found these tips helpful. Thank you for your time today. I would now like to introduce Max Dubin, Special Counsel to the Superintendent of the New York State Department of Financial Services.
Good morning, and thank you, Katie, for the introduction and for your continued partnership in protecting New York consumers. I'm Max Dubin, Special Counsel at the New York State Department of Financial Services, or DFS, and it's an honor to represent my agency and Superintendent Adrian Harris at this event. DFS is the primary financial regulator in New York, overseeing more than 3,000 banking, insurance, and financial institutions with nearly $10 trillion in assets. Our mission is to build an equitable, transparent, and resilient financial system that benefits all New Yorkers. Consumer protection is at the heart of our work. Every day, we prioritize putting money back in the pockets of New Yorkers, whether that is making sure their insurance claims are properly paid or holding bad actors accountable for fraud and abuse. Under Superintendent Adrian Harris's leadership, we continue to set new records for restitution every year. In total, we have returned a record $645 million to New Yorkers since August 2021, including more than $228 million in restitution just last year. Our incredible team achieved this by addressing more than 157,000 consumer complaints in the last 3 years. But our focus on consumer protection is not just about seeking recoveries from harm. We work to prevent harm before it happens. Cyber attacks are one of the most significant threats facing consumers and businesses' financial security. The number and severity of cyber incidents has increased nationwide every year. These incidents have far-reaching impacts, from wiping out consumers' assets or disrupting critical services like healthcare systems. To address this, DFS has established a nation-leading cybersecurity regulation, helping safeguard consumers and financial institutions from cyber threats. Our cybersecurity framework has been adopted by more than half the states and by national banking and insurance associations. In 2023, we amended the regulation to keep pace with the evolving cybersecurity landscape, to mitigate risk from increasingly sophisticated cybercriminals and better protect financial institutions and consumers from cyber threats. Last year, we built on that work by providing guidance to companies on steps they can take to protect themselves and their customers' data from deep fakes and AI-enhanced cyber attacks. And those materials are all available for small businesses on our website. DFS is also committed to fostering financial innovation while ensuring that new products don't come at the expense of consumer protections. For example, buy now, pay later loans, or BNPL, have quickly become a popular way for consumers to spread out payments on everyday purchases. During the 2024 holiday season, U.S. customers spent $18.2 billion using these services, a 10% jump from 2023. And while they offer convenience, they present risks to consumers as well. They can often include hidden fees, unclear repayment terms, or potential impacts on credit scores that consumers don't fully understand. Despite the rapid growth of these loans, BNPL providers are not currently subject to the same robust oversight and consumer protection laws as traditional credit products in New York. That is why Governor Hochul has proposed legislation that will establish strong consumer protections for BNPL loans. The regulatory framework will create new disclosure requirements, fee limits, dispute resolution standards, and data privacy protections for this growing market. And we look forward to working with the governor and legislature to get this legislation passed and enacted in the coming weeks. I'm very proud to highlight DFS's work this National Consumer Protection Week. We believe that strong, smart regulation can build a financial system that serves and protects consumers while also helping to grow a robust and thriving marketplace. And these initiatives are just some of the ways we are advancing that mission. We also work to make ourselves available every day to support New Yorkers. We encourage consumers to visit our website, dfs.ny.gov, to access helpful tips on avoiding frauds and scams, or just picking the right insurance or banking products for them. You can also request individualized help from our incredible consumer assistance team. Thank you to the Better Business Bureau for organizing this important event, and I look forward to continuing our shared work in protecting and empowering consumers in New York. Thank you, and I'd now like to introduce the next speaker, Melissa Yashan, Deputy General Counsel for the New York Department of Consumer and Worker Protection.
Thank you so much, Max, and thank you to the Better Business Bureau of Metropolitan New York for hosting us today as we commemorate National Consumer Protection Week. I am Melissa Yashan, Deputy General Counsel at the New York City Department of Consumer and Worker Protection, DCWP. At DCWP, we are committed to protecting consumers from unscrupulous businesses, especially those that harm our communities. Over the last few years, we've heard increasingly from New Yorkers around the city, especially those who live or work near JFK Airport, about unlicensed parking businesses masquerading as legitimate businesses, disturbing surrounding communities. These nuisances disturb communities by taking up parking opportunities on residential streets, congesting traffic, and impeding pedestrians. But importantly, we also have heard about these unlicensed businesses from consumers who were charged more than advertised, had their vehicles damaged, and in some cases were left stranded without any access to their vehicles or possessions after returning from a trip. Taking enforcement action against these individual unlicensed businesses comes with a lot of challenges. They're difficult to identify in terms of who's running them and who's responsible for them. Our inspectors have been threatened when we send them to inspect them in the field, and many aren't actually visible from the street, and it's difficult to determine access points. Finally, many of these are constantly changing their names, so it's really difficult to identify who is whom and what is what. Most of these lots wouldn't even be available to consumers if they weren't listed on online parking apps. These apps allowed them to advertise directly to consumers and to book and pay for parking through those apps. So we took creative legal action to put the brakes on these illegal operations negatively impacting our communities and consumers. It was clear that our whack-a-mole attempts to shut down the individual unlicensed lots was ineffective. So we sought to essentially cut the head off the snake and remove the means that allow these companies to operate by taking enforcement action against the apps that support them, aid them, and facilitate them. Some parking apps were receptive to our initial outreach and worked with us to come into compliance, ensuring that they eliminated all unlicensed lots from their platforms, such as Spot Hero. Others resisted our attempts to enforce the law. In August of last year, more than a year after we sent our initial cease and desist letters to these parking apps, we filed a lawsuit against Way.com, a popular parking app who continued to list dozens of unlicensed parking operations near JFK, alleging that they were providing these businesses the tools and platform to operate illegally and prey on New Yorkers. In October of 2024, the judge issued a permanent injunction against Way.com, ordering them to ensure that all parking operations on their app do have a DCWP issued license. Since that victory, we have sent an additional 13 cease and desist letters to other apps who have one or more unlicensed operators on their platforms. While we continue to enforce the law, we also want consumers to take some simple steps to protect themselves while looking for parking opportunities, particularly near airports. Consumers can use our license lookup tool to check a business's license status and complaint history by visiting us at nyc.gov/consumers. We also urge consumers to check signage and prices. A DCWP license number and rates for parking must be posted in an obvious location if the lot is licensed. Consumers should also never agree to waivers or negligence disclaimers for parking. Garages and lots must take reasonable care to prevent damage to vehicles in their care. Finally, we encourage consumers to report unlicensed garages or file a complaint if they have a problem with a garage or lot by visiting our website or calling 311. Thank you all, and thank you to the partners who continue to work to protect consumers here in New York. And now I'd like to pass it over to Judy Weinstock, who is the Assistant Regional Director at the New York Regional Office of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission.
Good morning. Thank you, Melissa, and thank you, Claire and the Better Business Bureau of New York for hosting this important event. I'm here today with an important warning about relationship investment scams, also known as pig butchering scams. But first, I have to give a quick disclaimer. These remarks are provided in my official capacity as an Assistant Regional Director in the New York Regional Office of the SEC, but do not necessarily reflect the views of the Commission, the Commissioners, or other members of the staff. Okay, so how do relationship investment scams or pig butchering scams start? You will be targeted online, on social media, or through text messages. A stranger will contact you out of the blue. Many times, fraudsters will text pretending to be an old friend, or they will express a romantic interest. They will attempt to build a rapport. They will often pledge their love very quickly. These scams sometimes are referred to as long cons, meaning there's a long, slow build before the fraudster springs their trap. Over the course of days, weeks, or even months, the fraudster will send you messages about personal, non-investment related topics. They might try to foster trust by sending pictures, talking about activities such as volunteering, to demonstrate good character, or sharing fictitious life details that mirror your own. Their goal is to gain your trust and confidence. Inevitably, the scammer will at some point steer the conversation toward investment-related topics. Victims can lose a lot of money, sometimes their life savings. Victims are left brokenhearted and financially devastated. Please, if someone you have never met, have never seen in person, comes into your life out of the blue, hit the pause button. Fraudsters will also often invite you to a group chat and use fake testimonials to get you and the others to invest. If you're in a group chat, others in the group may claim to have made huge profits. Fraudsters might also use altered or AI-generated photos or videos to make it falsely look like others have profited. For example, depictions of skyrocketing account balances often are fake. Then scammers will ask you to put your money toward the, quote, opportunity they've shared. Once you do, however, the switch will flip, maybe leaving you facing devastating consequences. Here are some important warning signs and tips on how to protect yourself. Unexpected contact. Never respond to unsolicited messages from unknown contacts. Consider reporting, blocking, and deleting messages from senders you don't know. If you receive an unexpected email or text, be suspicious. This is a red flag of fraud. Refusal to participate in video chats. If they decline face-to-face interaction, they are likely not who you think they are. Request for financial information. Don't share financial information with people you've never met in person. Do your own independent research and ask questions. The SEC maintains a website at www.investor.gov. You can and should use this website to check the background of anyone seeking to sell you an investment, and also to read helpful alerts and bulletins about investing. Thank you. And now let's hear from Nick Moore, U.S. Postal Inspector, New York Division, U.S. Postal Inspection Service, about imposter scams and the Postal Service.
Thank you, Judy. I'm Nick Moore, and I'm a U.S. Postal Inspector. As the oldest federal law enforcement agency, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service has seen all types of frauds and scams, and we continue to see all types of new ways fraudsters not only try to get your money, but also your personal identifiable information. By now, you've heard of several scam techniques, such as phishing or spear phishing, that's by email, smishing by SMS or text, vishing by a voice call, or quishing by a QR code. Even brushing, which is fake online reviews in your name after they've sent you for your unsolicited packages. That's to name a few, but all are to trick you to provide financial or personal data. When it comes to lottery or sweepstakes or investment scams, we all remind you, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But many people are still lured by the convincing pitch or the chance at hitting it rich. Our focus this year for NCPW is on imposter scams, a wide variety of criminals pretending to be someone else to deceive others, especially for fraudulent or financial gain. And in New York, this scam ranks amongst the highest, along with, of course, identity theft. But with a few simple tips, consumers can protect themselves from imposter scams. All right, number one, take your time to make financial decisions, of course. Whether it's investments or unsolicited offers like the lottery or sweepstakes, don't rush into sending your money to someone you don't know. Second, is it really a representative from your bank that's sending you that email or text? Well, to be certain, call your bank at the number that you were given when you opened your account. Don't call the number that you haven't verified, and never click on any link in an email or a text. Self-explanatory, right? Grandparents, before sending your money to help your grandchildren who find themselves in a desperate situation, call them or their parents at a number you recognize to confirm they sent you that message. Romance scams. Well, if you meet someone over the internet who professes their love for you right away, but needs financial assistance to meet you, exit the conversation as quickly as you can. These catfishers frequently spin the same lines or tell the same backstory over and over again. Next, I'm sure many of you have received a strange but intriguing text telling you to track your USPS package and provide delivery instructions. Well, the Postal Service will never send you an unsolicited text. And any text or email claiming you have a USPS delivery problem is designed to steal your personal information. So, if you did not initiate the tracking request or a specific package directly from USPS and it contains a link, don't click the link. Delete these messages. But before you do, send the bogus text or email to spam@uspis.gov. Last but not least, put your phone number on the Do Not Call registry, right? That number is 1-888-382-1222 or at donotcall.gov. For more information on scams and other crimes, including mail theft and check fraud, follow us on X at Postal Inspector or go to our website at uspis.gov. Lastly, if you found that you are a victim of a scam or suspect fraud, submit an online report to the Inspection Service at our website or call us at 877-876-2455. Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Odili Bonilla, Public Affairs Specialist at the Social Security Administration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore, for the introduction. Greetings. As mentioned, my name is Odili Bonilla. I'm a Public Affairs Specialist in the New York region. Today, I'll be discussing how to protect yourself from government imposters and Social Security scams. For more details on how to stay safe, visit socialsecurity.gov. Identifying and recognizing potential scammers is key to keeping your personal information secure. Fraudsters often pose as Social Security or other government officials, claiming there's an issue with your Social Security number or that you're in danger of losing your benefits. They try to exploit your fears by threatening legal action, suspension of benefits, or your Social Security number, and even arrest. If you've ever received one of these calls, emails, or text messages, you know how convincing they can be. It's easy to fall for their tactics, but not making brash decisions and staying informed and contacting us directly to conduct your business will protect you from a scam. Here are some important things to remember. Social Security will never promise to increase your benefits in exchange for money. We will not call you demanding payment or risk of benefits if you did not pay us immediately. We will never request payment in cryptocurrency, gift cards, Cash App, prepaid debit cards, or wire transfers. And most importantly, Social Security will never threaten you with legal action or arrest. for not making any payment. Here are some tips you can use to protect yourself. Hang up immediately if you receive a suspicious call. Do not engage. Their goal is to extract your personal information from you. If you owe Social Security money, use pay.gov to make secure payments. Stay informed by signing up for your My Social Security account online at ssa.gov/my account. And finally, visit Social Security scam resource page at ssa.gov/scam for tips on identifying, avoiding, and reporting scams. I hope you found this information helpful. And remember, staying informed and alert is your best defense against fraud. And now I'll turn it over to Christopher Westphal, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, New York Field Office, IRS Criminal Investigation.
Thank you, Adili, and good morning, everyone. And thank you to the Better Business Bureau for hosting this important event during National Consumer Protection Awareness Week. I'm Chris Westphal, Assistant Special Agent in Charge for IRS Criminal Investigation within our New York Field Office. IRS CI investigates all financial crime and is the only federal law enforcement agency with the authority to investigate criminal tax violations. Last year alone, IRS CI identified more than $2 billion in tax fraud and $7 billion in other financial crimes. Our special agents continue to be the experts in following the money. Each year, criminal schemes are evolving that range from phishing attempts to return preparer fraud. And IRS CI is here to share some critical tips and resources to ensure your finances, personal information, and tax returns are safeguarded this filing season. First, in regards to tax preparers, even when someone files on your behalf, you are ultimately responsible for your tax return. Whether you do a refund or there's a tax due to the IRS, it's important to choose a preparer wisely. Several red flags for you to be on the lookout for are, first, don't use a ghost preparer. A ghost preparer is an accountant or a return preparer who will put the numbers on your tax return and won't sign their name. If they won't take the responsibility as preparer of your tax return, that's a red flag. Second, don't sign a blank tax return. If your preparer asks you to sign a return in advance before it is even filled out, that is another red flag. Don't do it. You should always know what you are signing. And lastly, make sure you receive your refund. Check the routing number and the account numbers referenced on your personal income tax return to ensure they match yours. Your refund should be deposited into your bank account, not your tax preparer's. Second, protecting your personal information is a priority. This information can and is being used for various criminal schemes. But we know that there are criminals who will file false tax returns with your name on it. Ultimately, you won't know until you attempt to file your own return. Some best practices to not be a victim of tax fraud are as follows. File early. Submit your return as soon as you can to prevent someone else from filing first. Be aware of someone assuming your identity and using your information on their tax return. Check your credit report. This is a free annual service with the respective credit bureaus. You're your own best advocate, reviewing your credit reports closely, identifying any suspicious activities or inaccuracies. Then take appropriate action by following up with the respective financial institution. Last, don't just stay on defense, protect yourself, be proactive. If you or someone you know has been a victim of or suspects fraudulent return preparers, criminal tax schemes, or related financial crimes, contact IRS CI at New York Field Office at ci.irs.gov. You can forward phishing emails to phishing@irs.gov. And remember, the IRS will never initiate contact via text, email, or social media to request sensitive information or demand immediate payment. If you receive a suspicious call or message, hang up and report it. And now I'd like to introduce you to Kat Fisher, Assistant State Director of Engagement and New York State Fraud Prevention Lead with AARP. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. AARP New York and our National Fraud Watch Network arms consumers with information about the latest scams. I am Kathleen Fisher, an Associate State Director of Engagement at AARP New York, and I'm the New York State Lead for Fraud Prevention. AARP is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that empowers people to choose how they live as they age. At AARP, we track the latest fraud and scams, offering a suite of educational resources, support, and research to help you stay one step ahead of scammers. Every year, 1 in 5 adults over the age of 50 are victims of financial exploitation, with each losing an average of $120,000. Financial institutions lose more than $1 billion a year in deposits due to the exploitation of Americans over 50, and New Yorkers lost more than $400 million in 2023. One of the most common scams involves gift cards. There are generally 2 types of gift cards. In one type of scam, scammers ask for payment by gift card. Criminals may pose as a relative, usually a child or grandchild, claiming they are in an emergency. Or someone may contact you as a debt collector or tech support requesting a payment. Be wary when anyone asks you to get them a gift card or make a payment by gift card. The second type of gift card scams involves stealing the value of gift cards that you purchase. Make sure to buy gift cards directly from the business that issued them and double check the value on the card. If you are buying several gift cards, watch that each one is scanned at the register. Also be wary of third-party gift card balance checking websites that ask you for your PIN number. Be sure to use the website listed on the back of the card to do that only. Since fraudsters often ask to be paid via cash, gift cards, or money transfers, older adults may go to the bank to withdraw cash to help their relatives. Legitimate businesses do not seek payment by gift cards. And AARP's BankSafe program can help financial institutions and retailers offering gift cards by playing a crucial role in preventing gift card scams and other types of fraud. BankSafe trains tellers and other bank employees to recognize when a scam might be happening. The training is available at no cost to banks, credit unions, financial advisors, and retailers offering gift cards and wire transfers. For more information about the latest scams, financial exploitation, elder fraud, or AARP's BankSafe initiative, you can visit aarp.org/NY-Stop-Fraud. Remember, if you can spot a scam, you can stop a scam. Thank you to the Better Business Bureau for organizing this event.
Thank you. And, this whole program is aimed at providing enough information for consumers so they can help themselves. Remember, everything you've heard today points to if consumers can recognize red flags, that is their best defense. So I want to thank each and every one of the organizations today that offered information for consumers, and for all of you who are in attendance today. Bringing your attention back to the chat, we have the National Consumer Protection Week website and resources available to all of you. The Scam Tracker report, which was released yesterday, and report on, you can look at all the Scam Tracker website as well. So I want to thank everybody today for being here. If anyone in attendance has an inquiry, they can contact Lucas Fenton, Lisa Vasquez at BBB. I want to take this opportunity to thank Luana Lewis, Lucas Fenton, Lisa Vasquez, and Catherine Hutt, the team that put it together, along with Emmanuel and Rahim, who are making sure that from an IT standpoint, this works, and it did. So thank you so much. With that, I want to thank everybody and call this National Consumer Protection Week media event to a close. Thank you very much, everyone.